Hey, Shalom, Akim Shalom. Before we begin this lesson, we're going to start off by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Bahashem,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Bahasham,
Bahashem,
Rachakwadash.
Rachakadash.
Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us this truth. And Shalom to all the hopeful elect out there. Shalom to you all.
Shalom.
Yeah, so today we want to go into correction, all right, and how important it is to take rebuke, okay, and rebuke can come in many different forms, okay, but we're going to start off with the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, and verse 24. It says, He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes.
So in this scripture, it's talking about how, you know, he that spareth the rod hated his son. So it's saying if he, the rod is the belt. If he does not, whoop his child, or if he doesn't discipline him in any type of way, that shows that he does not love his son for real, you know. And then it goes in by, the second verse. Could you read that off one more time? Sorry.
Con. Proverbs 12, or Salakia 13, verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes.
So, you know, if he's going out of his way to chastise him, which chastising means to go ahead, like kind of debate with him, argue with him, or like correct him, it's going to show how much he loves him. Because if you're trying to correct somebody, you obviously care for the person. If you're not, you don't care for what they do. So he that spareth the rod does not love his, he hateth his children, you know?
Con.
Yeah,
Hey,
that's it.
that's there. It's plain and simple, you know. I mean, because when you disciplining your child is never fun, right? But we know it's not about fun. It's about the bigger picture. All right, how they're gonna turn out. You know, we don't want to raise a fuck up, and the Lord is the same way with us. You know, which that's
um,
the next point. I'm gonna turn my Bible. We're gonna go to Hebrews chapter 12. And we're going to start at verse 5. Yeah, because that first scripture was a good example of how a father raises his son, right? But now we're going to look at it through how the Lord uh, basically treats his hopeful elect.
Kind of just got there. Hey, the water y'all about my shot. So it'd have been Hebrews 12, 5 through 7.
Come.
All right, I'm about to get into that real quick. All right. All right, so it'd be Hebrews 12, 5 through 7. And it says, and it says, and ye have forgotten the extortion which speaketh unto you as the children, my son. Despise not thou the chastising of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
Right. Because the Lord, you know, basically, now what this is saying is that the Lord rebukes and chastens you, okay? And you got to not despise it, right? Don't get angry when the Lord does it, okay? It's just like the example the brother gave with the father and his son, okay? It's for a reason, okay? And obviously, the Lord is not going to come down on a cloud and be like, my son, you're wrong about this, that, and the third. You know, the Lord speaks through the mouth of his prophets. So you're going to have certain brothers that rebuke you. You're going to have certain elders, okay? You can see this with how, you know, the men of the great millstone rebuked IUIC, Sakari, you know, that guy Alizar talking about how the Lord could come back today or in 1,000 years, you know, just leaving it wide open, you know, watering down the truth. Okay, when we know the scripture says to measure the time diligently, okay, and if you're doing your due diligence, you know it's not going to be 1,000 years, man. All right, and you know it's not going to be today either. Okay, and it's just things like that. So you know, and could you read that again, Baba Kushah?
Con. All right, and it says, in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 5. And ye have forgotten the extortion which speaketh unto you as children. Speak unto you as unto children, my son. Despise not thou the chastising of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him.
Right. Don't faint. Don't give up, man, just because you're getting corrected. Okay. That's a time to just, take it in, right? It's going to hurt. You might hurt your feelings, whatever. All right. But I have to sit through that and be like, okay, what this brother's saying is true. Now let me apply it, because that's how you see your blind spots. All right. Like the Elder Rod always says, how can you know what you don't know? Right. So sometimes you got to, uh, you know, act like you don't know what you think you know so you can learn what you don't know, right? If that makes sense. It's basically, just roughly paraphrasing what I've heard the brother say or the elder say in the camp. um, you know there's a lot of things we don't know, and then that's how you learn. Is brothers see your blind spots, they'll show you, okay, this is your weakness, this is what you need to work on. Okay. And to add to that, I want to go into this word chastening in verse 5. So I'm gonna go into the blue letter real quick. Hebrews 12, verse 5. And I'm gonna pull it up on the screen here. Okay, this is Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 5. We're gonna get the word chastening. G3809. Paideia, right? And it says the whole training and education of children, which relates to the cultivation of mind and morals, and employs for this purpose new commands and admonitions, now reproof and punishment. Also includes the training and care of the body, right? Like lifting weights, right? That's self-discipline. Whatever in adults also cultivates the soul by correcting mistakes and curbing passions. Instruction which aims at increasing virtue. Okay, this is the main one I wanted to get. Instruction which aims at increasing virtue, right? A brother sees you're talking about, 1,000 years. Nah, man, that's not how it works. We're going to bring out the scriptures. Measure the time diligently in itself, hastening the day, right? And then that's how that person, if Alistar, repented, he could have been like, oh, yeah, no, you're right, and then correct his doctrine. Okay, which that's the right way to do it, not getting offended and talking down on the men of Great Millstone. Okay, and then I just want to grab this word virtue real quick. Bear with me. Virtue, behavior showing high moral standards, right? Because again, this truth, we hold ourselves to the highest standards. All right, so this book is not like being in any other group in this world, or the ways of the people of this world. Okay, so we got to have that correction, brothers, in order to improve ourselves. Okay, we should all have self-discipline, but at the same time, all right, you're gonna need discipline and correction in things that you don't know what you don't know. Okay, so let's get back into Hebrews chapter 12, and we're gonna go to verse 6.
We have Hebrews chapter 12, verse 6. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth, and scourge every son whom he receiveth.
Right, just like the brother said, man, if you love your son, you're gonna correct him. All right, so be thankful. That's a good thing, man. All right, bad thing is you doing something wicked and nobody tells you. And then how you gonna learn? You're gonna learn in Jacob's trouble, or when the missiles hit. That's when you're gonna learn. All right, so you don't want it that way. You want to get that small chest, and that, hey, just like your father is gonna whoop your ass if you do dumb shit. I'd rather get my ass whooped by my father than get killed on the street. Stupid shit, and then boom, get my brains blown out. You can't come back from that, man. All right.
Literally can't come back from that. Yeah, Con. Let's get into it'd be Hebrews chapter 12, verse 7. if ye endureth chastening, no, yeah, chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Salakia. I'll read that one more time. If ye endure chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? Yeah, I've never seen it like that, but
God, I mean, it's chastening is, again, it's important, and I want to grab uh, that word again, but we're going to grab the one in verse 7. It's a different word. Bear with me. Right here. Paiduo. And it's basically a very similar definition: to train children, to be instructed or taught or learn, to cause one to learn, to chastise or castigate with words. And we're going to get the word castigate. You see, this thing's tripping. Castigate means reprimand somebody severely, right? Because sometimes rebuke ain't always going to come in a soft way. Okay, sometimes, if a brother's really going off, we want to make sure that, that behavior is not continued. Okay, of those who are molding the character of others by reproof or admonition, right? Iron sharpens iron, man. All right, these words, the scriptures is a two-edged sword, man. All right, because we'll correct somebody, and oftentimes the scriptures is going to be quoted too. Okay, so that you can understand what the correction is about. To chasten by the affliction of evils and calamities, right? And that's the correction you don't want. You don't want to get destroyed in Jacob's trouble, man. You don't want to end up in somebody's suitcase, chopped up in pieces, or your head blown off, or starving to death, which the scriptures say starving is worse than getting killed by the sword. That's a slow, agonizing, painful death. Right? And a lot of you out there are going to suffer that, man, because you did not listen to the proof. Okay, you hear these words, you get offended, and then you call the men of Great Millstone a bunch of bums or whatever you might call us, right? And their true affiliates. It continues to chastise with blows, to scourge, of a father punishing his son, of a judge ordering one to be scourged. All right. And, just to finish off, we're going to go back to Proverbs. Proverbs 9 and verse 8.
we have Proverbs chapter 9, verse 8. Reprove not the scorner, lest he hate thee. Rebuke a wise man, and he will love thee.
So you see the difference here? You got a scorner who hates rebuke, and you got a wise man who loves it, right? Be the wise man, all right? That's the point of me bringing out this verse, is just to show you, there's two different mindsets, all right? And if you don't give up when someone chastises you, right? A brother, right? A man of the Lord, right? Because those are the words of the Lord, man. If you're getting corrected, right? That's an opportunity to improve, to get better. Okay, we're purging out all the, because we've been living this life that we live opposite to what the scriptures say for the majority of our life, depending how old you are, man. If you're new to the truth, a couple years, like me or the brother Ratazawan, all right, that's what, 20 something, 20, 25 years, 27 years of living like a worldly person. We got a lot of flaws and character flaws and issues that, the brothers can see in you, that they say, hey, do this instead of that, and bring out the scripture, and you see, like, oh, wow, yeah, I did need to work on that. All right. And through the years, we're striving for perfection, man, to be like Yahweh Shai. All right. And that's the right mindset to have. Okay. So, with that, We're going to finish this lesson by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Bahasham,
Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Bahasham,
Bahasham,
Rachat Warash.
Rachakadash.
Double honors and apostles, a great millstone that taught us this truth. Shalom to you all. Shalom wa abab abal.
Shalom.